ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ನಿಮ್ದು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ?
ಎರಡೆರಡು ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. 70+ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಓ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್. 70 ಜನದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್?
ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್ 70. ಒಂದೊಂದ್ಸರ್ತಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಒಂದು 5-6 ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿ. ಆರ್ ದೇ ಆಲ್ ವೆರಿ ಅಟೆಂಟಿವ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್?
Some more, no sir, not all sir. Only those are very intelligent. They only say answers. That's it sir. Others they always mute their phones. That's it.
Okay, okay.
One more person has joined, Kiran. Probably we need to pick it up. Kiran, can this be recorded and probably we can put it in YouTube later?
Yeah, I started recording.
Excellent. So,
so let me speak to a couple of more so that you know the context and then we can start addressing them. Okay. Manjushri madam, we understood. That is exactly what we are going to address. How do we ensure if 70 people are joining, how do we ensure if not 70, at least 69 of them speak? Okay. Maybe one or two, they need not have to, we cannot do 100%. One or two exceptions, but it is possible thanks to technology and thanks to some of the best practices where we can ensure most of them join us. That's what we are going to share our experience. I would have experience with adults, and Vish will also share how do we extend the same with the children as well. Okay. Then Kausar madam, nimdu abhipraya heli.
From October, sir, Vidyagama has stopped. So no, I'm not making video or not doing classes. No, government today I read government has given permission to do classes in school premises. Here I face a problem in bringing the schools all together online. That is the main problem I am facing.
In villages you have I understand you have totally different infrastructure challenge itself, because either students will not have access to internet or smartphones. We will tell you, we will share our views on what is our plan, how do we plan to bridge that gap. As an Infosys, as an organization, what we are planning, I will share that. Now I think Mamata is unmuted. Mamata, good evening, madam. Are you able to? You are from Vijaya College, Allah?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You are the same Mamata whom we discussed in the afternoon.
No, sir. Morning discuss ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
Okay. Thanks for joining again. So you can also.
Thank you. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
We will listen to more teachers today so that you can also hear the best practices.
Okay, sir.
Okay. You can mute your line for now. Thank you.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Vish, over to you.
Okay. So let me bring up my slide. Just give me a second.
Yes, sir. We can see your slide. Your screen we can see. We can see your slide.
Okay, let me first test if the slide is moving. 1 sec.
We can see the slideshow mode. You can click on that hide so that strip also gets hidden.
1 sec here. Can you see the slide now?
Very much. You can also click on that hide button so that even that strip also goes away.
Super.
Now we can see full clearly.
Excellent. Great. So first of all, thank you everyone. Thank you teachers. Thank you friends. Thank you my former colleagues, and more importantly, Kiran. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm truly humbled by your invitation. Let me draw some justice to this session. Few sort of opening remarks. One, let's keep this interactive. Let's learn from each other, right? And that's the true spirit of any teacher. And I'm a passionate teacher myself, and I always believe I need to teach from whoever I teach something, right? In fact, can you believe, William Shakespeare also had a teacher? And imagine how difficult that class would have been, right? Same thing with Albert Einstein or Newton. They all had teachers. So, which means to say, teacher need not necessarily be smarter than the students. However, teacher comes up with certain attributes, qualities, traits to facilitate the learning. That's the whole idea of a true teacher. And today, I want to probably just scratch the surface of what a great teaching can be. And probably we can have these interaction going as we have questions coming up. Yeah. So I have identified two broad areas. One, motivating yourself, and second topic is engaging students effectively. Now you may wonder, why did you bring motivating yourself as a teacher? If I am a teacher, I got to motivate myself, because unless I have a passion to teach and make the teaching very, very motivating, engaging, interactive, creative, innovative, I will not enjoy the teaching. That's the reason I thought, let me bring up that topic first. Then I have one or two examples how, at least when I get to the classroom, I try and engage students effectively. Just for your information, I've been teaching in a number of B schools in India and abroad in the last several years in my technology career, learning and development career, and HR career. Okay. So if I have to summarize, Kiran, can you see the next slide?
Yes, Vish, we can see it.
So if you have to summarize, today, ever since COVID broke out, teachers have come across these probably 7 challenges. Maybe this list is incomplete. I'm sure you will add a couple of them, but let's keep these 7 in our radar. One, we do not know whether the children are listening to the class or not. Okay, this is one of the biggest problem, because teachers believe that they are talking to a ghost machine. They are talking to a screen where they do not see the students. They're all muted. So host of issues, right? This is the biggest challenge. And they miss being in front of the students to engage with the students physically. That's the first challenge. Second, no control whether children copy or genuinely take the test. If you give an online test, we do not know whether the children copy or parents help children by the hindsight, or they are displaying a level of integrity and values not to copy. We do not know. Meaning, as teachers, we don't know. Third, it's a common issue, probably 90% of the issue, network issue. Students say we do not hear anything. It could be genuine or ingenuine, but they do say that we do not hear anything. That's another frustration for a teacher. The fifth one is teachers do not have much computer knowledge, because this transition from classroom to the online medium has happened practically overnight. And most of the teachers have jumped in to embrace this online medium without actually going through a formal online tools, technology, the internet world, etc., training, right? So that's a challenge. Engaging student is hard because in the classroom, as one of the teachers said, we have highly intelligent students. We have medium to high intelligence students. You have medium students. low, medium, and very, very weak students. So when you have this stratification in the class, it's excruciatingly hard to engage with every single student. That's another challenge. And finally, lack of response from students. Do not get any response from students. When you ask a question, you don't get any response. These are the frustrations. So considering these challenges and many more, what I did was...
Wish, one second. Dear teachers and students, if you want any part to be translated into any other language, we have Hindi speaking volunteers today, bilingual volunteers, Marathi speaking, Urdu speaking. So please feel free. If you want us to translate any portion, we can do that. So, and you have to indicate that in the chat window, which is open for all. Thanks, Vish. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Do I also get to see the chat window so
Yes,
that
yes, you also, you also get to see.
Excellent. So I'm deliberately not speaking in Kannada, Kiran, today because I heard there's somebody from Bhubaneswar, somebody from Maharashtra. So it probably inappropriate I jump in and speak in Kannada. So I hope that's okay.
Yeah, perfect. That's why I'm asking whoever wants that to be translated, we will be happy to do that.
Yeah.
So please indicate that in the chat window.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what I did was I thought through for my visuals, this is what I came up. If you have a 1 hour class duration, or 50 minutes or 40 minutes, regardless of whatever the duration of the class, you can split the class into 33%, 33%, 33%. Yeah. The first 33% is all about content teaching, where you bring in certain theory, some concepts, some relevance. By the way, this is applicable regardless of the subject you teach, whether it is Sanskrit or English or social science or physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics. Regardless of that, you can apply this theory. So one more would ask a question, which in case of geography, what are the concepts that you're talking about or relevance that we're talking about, right? You can bring in the historical relevance, or you could even give some of the concepts in terms of how these different geographies evolved, right, to get the context to the students before jumping into the theory. So if you look at these things can be applicable regardless of the subject you teach, right? It could be even applicable to painting as well, or music as well. The second 33% is all about bring in as much audios, videos, visuals, charts, text boxes, communicate by text, everything, right? So here you talk about the applications, you bring in relevant examples and clarify some of the questions that comes in the chat window, or if students ask any questions, or you could even plant a question, right? So the content teaching reinforces the audios and videos and visuals. Yeah. And finally, the exercises and assessments. It could be in the form of quiz, peer assessments, flipped classes, flipping the class. In fact, I'm going to talk on all these things little later. And assignment presentations. Basically, you engage students to become active. If you look at the Socrates model, right, it's still relevant after thousands of years. What he said, you teach me, which is the first part, the content teaching. Then you show me. When you teach me, I get it, maybe 10%, 15% I get it. But if you show me through audios and videos and visuals, I get probably 50%, right? So you have teach me, show me. And the third area is very important, which is let me. Let me do the exercise. This is where the real learning reinforcement happens, when you engage students by flipping the class, which we will dive deep. Okay. Any questions, teachers, so far? Anybody, for that matter, anybody can ask any questions on these 3 blocks.
Wish Swati has joined. Swati is currently with Dr. Jayan. Thanks,
Okay.
Swati, for joining.
Hi, Swati. Great.
Hi, Swati. Nivasi.
Great.
Hi, good evening.
So, any
Thanks,
questions,
Nivas.
or if you don't have questions, we can move on.
Kausar madam, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು ಕೌಸರ್ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ
Okay,
ಇದ್ರೆ.
sir. I am speaking in Kannada. In audio, video, visuals, application, examples, clarifications, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ?
ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀರಾ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಪದ, ಆ ಪದ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸಬಹುದು. ಅದು ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಆರ್ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಸುಮಾರಿಗೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ ಆದವರಿಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಟಾಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈ ಹೆಡ್ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಫೈಸರ್ ಸ್ಪೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಏನು? ಎಲ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಫೈಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ FIZER ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು P ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ನ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಭಾಷೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಅದೇ ತರ ನೀವು ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಸಿವಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಯಾವ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಅದ್ರ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬಲ್ಲೆ.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome. Okay, so my first part of the presentation was motivating yourself, right? What motivates us? Different things motivates us differently, right? You know, the what motivates you and what motivates me to embrace a particular activity or the chosen or passion is different, right? I want to get some visuals which motivated me in my own career and life, and I want to show this to you, right? Now, the first motivation, and you may say, Vish, how this is connected to education? It need not necessarily be connected to education. When I say this little child's picture, I get motivated, right? Because God has created me so nicely, so brilliantly, with the limbs in the right place, so that I'm able to interact with this place like any other normal human being. And this very picture motivates me. In fact, I would have used this picture in probably number of talks at all levels, including to a bunch of CEOs. I would have used this picture because this is what motivates me to not crib on anything, to jump and pick up and get motivated to work, right? The second thing, this is what I picked up when I went to Delhi in a place called Chandni Chowk, and the people who are sitting down there are the people who are waiting for the food. After all the customers are gone, the shop gives them the left out food, and they come and sit at around 9:30, 10 o'clock, because at any day they can maximum have 30 people sitting like this, and they get the food at around 3 p.m. and this happens day after day after day. So I happened to walk into this restaurant because you get something very special there. When I saw these people, my heart literally sank and got motivated. Whenever I started, going down, these pictures come and spring me back into life. Yeah. This is another thing in the streets of Jaipur. And finally, this is what our Indian Army does in terms of monitoring round the clock. So these are the pictures sort of motivates me. Now, there's another picture which is startling. I came across this somewhere and it has motivated me, right? Because we are created so beautifully. Now, there's another picture. Look at what sort of people we have in this universe, in this planet, in this country. And these things motivate me. in whatever I do. It could be today in COVID situation, I do have the responsibility even to mop my home, right? And if I think, why should I do that? It gets motivated, right? I get motivated when I recall these pictures. Great, let's move on with this. Now, but who takes the lead to motivate? And this is the picture from Antarctica. And what happens is these penguins wait for 5, 10, 15, sometimes even an hour, not jumping into the water. But the moment first penguin jumps in, everything jumps in. Now, what's the message for us? The message is, as teachers, as faculties, as facilitators, we cannot wait for somebody's instruction. We need to get started so that your good work speaks of and others will follow the suit. Now, why I brought this, because in an online environment, every teacher will have to stretch a bit, which is frustrating. And
One
unless
minute. I think Rudrappa has started sharing. Rudrappa, can you start? Can you start sharing again so that it will get overridden?
Oh, I need to share my slides again, is it?
Yeah. Because Rudrappa inadvertently shared his screen, so we are seeing Rudrappa's screen.
You need to ask him to probably stop sharing.
Yeah, Rudrappa, can you stop sharing? Yeah. You have to start. You have to share again, Vish.
Yeah. Can you see my slides now?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes, we can see it. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, why we don't take the lead is because we believe that we are in a constrained world, right? This is what happens. I don't have to narrate this story. For this particular size of elephant, this chain is nothing, but it thinks that it has been tied permanently for life, and that is what we have made our mind to be, right? We feel we are constrained, and we got to liberate from this to get motivated. With that note, let me jump into the second part of the core of the presentation, which is how do you engage students effectively, right? I have few examples and I want to make it a little interactive, and you start relating to the topic that you're teaching, right? The examples may not be accurately relevant to what you teach, but you can draw certain parallels, okay? When does your students, at their best attention, right? Is the question that all of us need to ask. So the students are at their best attention when the challenging level, what as a teacher, what challenges you put in front of the student, and what skill level they have is in some flow, right? Let me narrate this in a little bit some more clarity. For example, as I said, there are probably three types of students. One is highly intelligent, and if you are talking on a topic to a very highly intelligent student, then the student may give up because gets bored. Why is this teacher teaching some of these basics? Because I already know it. In the morning when I was talking on this topic, I was giving, quadratic equation, right? In mathematics, if the student already completely understand the quadratic equations and associated problems that can be solved, and if the teacher keeps repeating, the child gets bored. The same way, if you are teaching something which the child does not understand, the child gets frustrated. So we say, for the classroom to be very attentive, there is something called the flow. And that is where the learning happens in every child, right? How do you do this in classroom? So hold your thoughts on that for a few minutes till I give some examples, okay? Now, I request everyone to jump in for a small exercise. I want each one of you to jump in. I know one or two teachers have been there in the morning, and for them it could be a small repetition. Kindly bear with me. Now, when I say, you know, what you see is masala dosa with some sabji and chutney and sambar, right? Now, tell me, if I ask a question, hey children, for a moment, all of you become my students, okay? Then I will say, hey children, tell me the different ways you can eat this masala dosa. So you can unmute and start giving me the answers. Go ahead, anybody is fine. I want to generate some enthusiasm. I want to generate some debate. I want to generate some discussion. That's all.
Yeah, I like masala, so I will dig straight in the middle and start eating from the middle.
Very good. Next student.
Sir, like I would
From the edge.
prefer to eat it with sambar.
You dip it with sambar. Excellent. Yeah. Next.
Yes, I want to dip it the chutney.
You want to dip it chutney. Okay. Next.
I like the crisp part, so I'll start it from the ends.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Great. See, a simple thing such as a masala dosa, I'm asking a question to students. Say, you know what are the different ways to eat this masala dosa? Okay. Now let me go on to the next slide and show you how many ways someone can eat this masala dosa was the question. And look at the 9 different ways. And of course, you added 3 more, which is not even in this list. People may say, the students may say, I want to fully open it and eat it. Or the second one, they say, I'll start from both the ends and approach masala later. Because if you have observed some students or some children, they want to keep the masala. Masala is like their, moral courage, right? If they want the masala of the dosa till the end. That's another way to eat. If you look at number 3, people who start from the middle and proceed towards the end. Somebody said, I think Kiran said that. People who eat complete dosa, making that the masala lasts for the whole dosa. 5th, people who offer their first bite to others and then eat. People who take 1 or 2 bites and then offer to others. People who wait for others to make the offer first. People who offer dosa only when they cannot finish it. People who offer the whole dosa and eat from other people's plate, right? Now, why I gave this example? I gave this example because, folks, believe me, every single topic you can generate debate with the students and make the classroom very interesting. Now, what I did here, I did a couple of things. One, I brought fantastic visuals where everyone got attracted. And I'm sure some of you might have even asked a question, what is this masala dosa doing here in online class, right? I'm sure there's a curiosity that came in. So first thing as a teacher we need to do is generate curiosity. Kutuhal in Sanskrit, right? Generate that curiosity. The moment the curiosity is there, they get attracted. Then you engage with these bunch of questions. They get engaged. Now, this is only the small part. Now, what as a teacher you could also do is, hey guys, now all of you take your paper and pen and write down the different answers that comes from different students, right? Because Kiran gave one answer and 3 others jumped in to give different answers. When everyone is giving an answer, children need to start writing in their notepad, maybe a rough notepad. That is what you need to insist them to write down. okay, and say, hey children, I'm going to ask a question, so write it down. Now, then I show this. I show all these 9. So you had 9 plus 4 or 5 or 6 from the students. You have some 15 different inputs that you have received. Yeah? Now, once you receive the 16, you stop the class for maybe 3 or 4 minutes and ask a student name. You know, you ask one of the students to unmute and say, can you tell me the 4 responses that you've received on this particular topic? So he has to say that. And also tell that I may be asking these questions at random. So guys, students, all of you need to be very attentive. That's another way to engage children into the online class. Yeah, because you can refer to anybody. Now let's take another, any questions so far before I give another math example? Anybody, any questions? Fine.
Yeah, let's listen from
questions are also welcome.
Yeah, let's listen from our younger participants. Netra, what's your view? How interesting are your online class? And is there anything we can do differently?
Sir, like in my school, it's quite interesting because every time our teaches any topic, she takes a quiz, but she does not show us any visual.
Okay.
So,
but
yeah, Netra is from one of the schools in Whitefield, Aditi International. Is it? What's the name?
No, sir, Vedi School of Excellence.
Hawaii School of Excellence.
So, Netra, the moment you saw this visual of masala dosa, did you get curious?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the point. Actually, glad Kiran, you got a student also into the classroom, because seeing is believing, and when children accept, you look, I get curious when you have this method, and I think that's the endorsement. Okay. Let's move on to one math example. Okay, how do you make math interesting? Yeah. Now I have one example here where the teacher asks, write 21:00 as 12-hour time. Write your answer using only numbers, a colon, AM or PM, for example, 3:15 AM. Right? This is what you're going to display to all the students and say, hey children, write down in your rough note, I may ask anybody to answer. And whoever I ask, they need to unmute and answer. I'm sure you're doing this already, but this is just a re-emphasis so that they do not run away from their desk doing something else or sleeping on the bed or whatever, because they got to be there on the rough note, writing down, because they may be asked the answer. Yeah. Again, Netra, I'm sure your teachers are doing this way. Okay.
Yes, sir, they do that.
Excellent. Here is another example. When you divide 54 by 9, do you get a whole number? Is this number odd or even? Okay. Make children think. This is a thinking question. Make children think, make children do the problem, actually give them the 15 seconds and prompt one student to answer. Yeah. Let me show another example of math. So here is little complicated. You know, what I showed here is a very, very simple recall table type of question, which is very, very easy. And this is slightly probably at a middle of school level. Christina has 13 pens. All the pens are either black or blue. There are 5 more blue pens than black pens. How many black pens does Christina have, right? So children need to work on this. There is a concept that they need to apply now. And remember, I spoke about the first thing that the teacher does is the concept, then is the visuals and audios and videos, and third is the exercise, right? Now, if they know the concept, this is the place to test the concept. And you ask some of the students, hey, children, can some of you explain? Now here you can do another beautiful thing, right? Unlike the earlier question, here you can ask one of the students, switch on the video and show how have you really done it? What concept have you applied it? Let all other students see. Now, what did you do? You have flipped the class. You have asked one of the students to teach in terms of how did the student arrived at the concept. And this is what the student should show. Ideally, and this is just an example, right? So it is 9 minus 4, which is 5, or 9 plus 4, which is 13. So the numbers are 9 and 4. Christian has 9 blue pens and 4 black pens. How is that? Netra, did you like this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Super.
another interesting observation here, not necessarily you have to do it formally. Thanks to the technology, today now I am actually logged in with 2 gadgets, one mobile and one laptop. I can just switch over my camera, and even if I have written on my paper and pen, I can just show that as well. And that makes it more genuine.
Excellent. Teachers, any questions on these 2 little things? I'm sure you're already doing it, but just to reinforce how you could engage children on various degree of questions.
I have my friend maths professor Milind. Milind, any comments?
Yes, Kiran, actually we do a lot of these things. Especially what we do is whenever we're taking a topic, some story or some riddle or something related to that topic, because the way we do it is we never announce the topic right up front that today we are going to take indices or something like that. We start with the riddle, we start with the story, and the students then feel, array, this is what the teacher we are going to learn today. So that's how we normally get into the topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Milind, a lovely answer. Thank you for that. Thank you for the suggestion. If I may, one idea could be if there are relevant, small little 1 or 2 minutes videos, if you could send it across, it could be a little bit of sort of exercise for children, and the learning speed can be enhanced, right? So in case if that helps, yeah.
No, Wish, just let you know, Milind is an expert. He has already done that. In fact, he has his own YouTube channel. I will probably, for the benefit of other teachers, we will share that videos as well. He uses PowerPoint to bring such a very interesting and interactive animations. He has done it. And in fact, he has done for quadratic equation, which you just mentioned. So yeah, that's why. Anyway, we are going to share those best practices, teachers and students.
Wonderful. Great. So thank you, Milind, for that answer. And let's move on. And by the way, as I said, I think I started off saying that in the beginning that you can apply the 3-pronged approach. I'm sure experts like Milind would have discovered new approaches. And I kept it at a basic level, considering the rural students, government students, and the larger mass of students, right? So, let's go on and look at some of the things that you could do in the classroom. One is announce you may be asked a question anytime. That's very, very important, because students cannot doze off by switching on their class and do something else, because they may be asked a question. I'm sure this will work. Yes, despite this, there will be issues in the network, etc. But this is something which I felt is relevant. Second, play the video and ask questions of specific students, right? Give group assignments. Split the class. If there are 40 students, split them into, say, 10, 4 batches. Give them the assignment. Let them work through the overnight or over the weekend. And then one of them becomes the leader to come back and present the assignment. And they take turns. Right? Given assignment, say from page number 25 to 28, guys, read and send your understanding of these 3 pages. Maybe you can ask them, send your understanding in, let's say, 1 page. You can scan and send it to my inbox, either the mail or something. And to make it real, as teachers, I know it's an additional burden for you. You don't have to read all the 40 answers. You can pick 1, 2, or 3 at random and say, I like this answer. Second one, I like this answer, but I have few feedback to give, Sunil. So something like that, so that children knows that teacher is reading all the summaries that you guys are sending through the mail, right? Tell stories. Children love stories. And stories can be created again for all the subjects. And I like what Milind mentioned in terms of how does he start the class, bringing in curiosity, not announcing the topic itself. That's another way to create interest in students. Be humorous, be smile. You can say small little jokes. No harm in smiling. As a teacher, you need not be too serious, and make the class light, because as much as you have the burden, children are also going through hell in terms of not being able to play their favorite game, the number of hours they want to spend in the playground, not able to meet the friends, not able to eat what they really wanted to eat. Sometimes children do need to eat junk food. They're not able to do it, right? So they're also going through some hardship. So some of these lighter moments will lighten up. In fact, the 7th point is very interesting. One of the things I suggest is keep weekly 1 session for 30 minutes for non-academic class, where you ask children, what did you do as a hobby? Can anybody sing? You empower children to open up, right? Completely non-academic. Or find out, how many children have celebrated the birthday the last 1 week. Wish them. So do these things so that children gain a lot of trust in you, because that is very important to get them to engage in your classroom.
Yeah, 1 second, Vish. Raghu, do you have any suggestions, thoughts? Raghu, are you able to hear me? Okay, let's hear from Sharda Madam. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
So any suggestions, thoughts, questions?
I have thoughts, not the suggestions. It is actually too good. Sir, in my daily class, I take some exercises or the activity related to suppose there are, I make the groups for the English subject. I give them the topic and ask them to discuss it in your group after the class and come with your study or the group activity after 3 days or 4 days. Students do that, and I can take the activity in online class. I
Lovely.
also celebrate the birthday also.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's
And
very
by
important.
I learn about the Jamboard from Mr. Kiran sir. I use that, and by using that I ask students to color the pictures. That is also very interesting for the students.
Yeah.
And Sharda Madam teaches Marathi medium students in Pune.
Oh, excellent. Lovely. Shadam, so nice, so nice.
Thank you, sir.
So you look at this slide. In this slide, look at the 3rd point, make learning social. Now, what did I mean by that? You assign certain exercise to students and ask them to talk to their cousins, relatives, uncles, aunt, grandfathers, grandmother. I categorically mentioned avoid parents. Can anyone say why did I write avoid parents?
They make restrictions.
Sorry?
They make restrictions.
Good answer. Good answer. What else?
And sir, maybe because of parents, students cannot express themselves in front of their parents.
Absolutely. And I like the first answer. They bring in restrictions. and parent student children interaction becomes very, very formal, and 90% of the parents will only worry about academic results, etc. They actually don't learn social skills. Whereas you ask them to go to their cousins, aunt, uncle, grandfather, grandmother, those people, right? They learn to interact with them. They learn something new from them, and they will be more happy to share in the next class. Try these things. And as a teacher, you're contributing students not only learn a particular subject of academics, but you're also teaching them indirectly some of these social networking and interactive skills as well, right? That's very, very important in life as I grew up. Yeah. And the fourth bullet point, can we get one group of students assess the other group? Because you would have shared the answer script with the group, and based on that, they can assess the other group, and they can, exchange the notes. What happens here is, because children will become more conscious that my answer sheet is being evaluated by my peer students. They'll be even more careful to work on their assignments and do well. Yeah. So the multiple things that we can do, and I was talking about the timely feedback, useful feedback, and invite students to contribute. So I'm left with Kiran. I know, Kiran, I'm taking more time. I'm left with just one more slide. Don't worry. Let me take a pause and see if there are any questions. Otherwise, I'll go to my last slide.
No, there's no issue. We have till 9 o'clock. So I think this is more useful, and there's a lot of synergy between what we do in the regular classes. So let's spend more time. No issues.
Excellent.
Yeah, I have Durvankur. Durvankur, are you there?
Wait, sir, I'm asking him. Please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Durvankur, what's your view? Is it useful, whatever Vish sir is telling?
Sorry, sir, he is not attending the class actually.
No problem.
Okay.
Who is there in Parth Nikam?
He is his brother. He is also not here, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now let me listen to one of the engineering student. Okay, Lavanya, is it applicable only for middle school and high school students, or are these tips are useful even for engineering students?
Yeah, they're very useful. Even our teachers, they're like dividing us into groups and making us do activities so that we also participate, because our portions are over. So they're like, instead of them only revising it, they're asking us to prepare for like certain topics, and they're gonna ask us to present, so that it's like practice for us also during exams, and also like others are also listening to us. So yeah, they're also doing that. It's the same
Wonderful.
thing.
Nivas, is it only for schools, or is it available, applicable even for us in the IT world, in our enterprise? Nivas, are you there? Or one of you can answer, either Bhavana or Hina.
Okay, Kiran, I have been going through the slides. I feel we are already inviting our, trainees or the participants or the people who are attending our session to contribute as if their opinion or feedback, like the Meridian platform which we are having right now. We can have polls, we can customize that poll. So that is really working out. But what I'm really thinking is, second point, even though we have breakout rooms, but if we are having a normal session, how can we have a second point implemented? This is what I'm thinking right now.
Now, is it a tool issue, or is it an applicability in the current context of what we train? Tool,
What we
definitely,
are
there are
trying,
hundreds of choices I will give you.
no, I'm not talking about tool, I'm talking about how can we implement this active learning element, because in physical classroom I'm able to understand how can we do that, but on virtual platform I'm still trying to think how can we make that happen.
Yeah, anyway, I will give my answer. Yeah, let me finish that, then I will leave it to Vish. Yeah, anyway, Meridian has this feature of breakout groups where you can
Yes.
divide them and we can get that thing done. So
Hmm.
I don't see there's absolutely any difference between you do in a physical classroom or virtual classroom.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, I don't see any difference in my experience, and we have been doing in our and at least in the architecture group, what I do architecture boot camps in this mode. It does not
Hmm.
matter it's virtual, and it happens virtual only even when I did before COVID, because all my architects are global.
Okay. Okay, so okay, I got it because I have tried breakout rooms in WebEx and this both, maybe an initiative, but I wasn't sure about implementing the same in my normal session. So that's why I was getting confused about the response.
Yeah,
Okay.
again, don't worry about tool. Again, in our case, it's actually much more easier. We don't have to depend on WebEx or this one. We have to just tell them get onto a bridge and do it and come back in 10 minutes.
Okay.
They know
Okay.
whether to get in through whether our Skype or WebEx or Teams. They will figure out. Okay, in our case, it's much easier. Here,
Hmm.
look at it. We are giving these tips to the even rural government school teachers where
Hmm.
it is possible. If not seamlessly in a same platform which we are using now, for example, even Google Meet allows that.
Hmm.
We need not have to rely on the tool. They can do it in any means. It can be just audio call, right? It need not have to be full-fledged multimedia breakout rooms.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Kiran. I think I let me try that in next session. Then I'll see. I'll come back to you for then.
Sure, sure, definitely.
So,
Vish, would
Kiran,
you?
Nivas here.
Yeah, Nivas?
Sorry, I did not unmute back then because the baby was crying, so I just came to a different room now.
No
So,
problem.
okay, so the thing is, see, I really love what say Vish is sharing. In fact, just I think 2 months back, I was attending a session which was being taken by the CEO of an academy, and when we were talking to him, he was saying that the whole say he's also somebody just like Vish, very passionate about teaching, and he mentioned that one of the biggest aspect of teaching that he understands is, can we make teaching as much fun as gaming, so much so that the students are in fact looking forward or wanting to ensure that they attend the next class, and they have some form of say that what say activities which gives them that effect of dopamine, which involves them and includes them in the part of learning process. So everything that Vish has actually shared over here uh, ac- goes towards that. So I am completely on board with whatever say Vish has shared so far, and I think it really helps in teaching in schools, colleges, and in fact even within Infosys. We already use most of this, but the effectiveness at which you use is also a question. So that is one thing I always find it difficult, because while I've attended many sessions, I feel a few teachers, even though they use it, they do not stitch it into the session. What I mean is, it looks superficial. That is, they were doing it just because they had to do it. So don't put a quiz just because you wanted to put a quiz.
Yeah.
Make sure it is stitched along with the flow of your session. That is one thing we should, I think, teach the teachers.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
In
let's
fact,
hear from some of the teachers because yeah, here we know in enterprise setup it's easy to experiment. We have enough tools and support.
yeah. Yeah.
Or let's hear from Kausar madam. I know in government schools, in Vidyagama, is this feasible? If you have, let's say, even if you have 20 kids, group activity ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದಾ?
ಹೌದು ಸರ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು.
Yeah, it is
In
not the question
online
of
or
tools. Yeah, yeah.
in online or physical classes?
Yeah, both are same. Basically, ideally, we want everybody to be together in the same room and where we can say, all of you sit in this corner and do it. So since we cannot do that, we are now looking at possibilities of how do we do it virtually. Now, looks like Vidyagama is going to restart again. So that will give us more hope that it will help the students. Otherwise, now the students are pretty much not at all engaged. They are in their homes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Back to you.
While While I was doing online class, sir, students were comfortable in WhatsApp, so I used WhatsApp more. That's why
Wonderful.
I have not knowledge about the live online class, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Now let me also share with you what now all of you, now I see 19 of you have come in, but I have intentionally not put all 19 of you in the same WhatsApp group. I have separate WhatsApp group for the people who are part of, because all of you have come in into this group at different intervals. Okay, I have intentionally kept multiple WhatsApp groups. And I'm also sharing which is applicable, whether it is from Pune or whether it is from this Asia Initiatives group or whether it is a teachers group. I have another children group. Okay, so like this, so that is also in breakout rooms. Probably the breakout rooms might be spanning more than an hour, probably a couple of days. But and also in one of the groups, I am getting one of the projects being done by youngsters who are learning as young as third standard onwards. I have put them in a group, and they collectively together are learning Python. They are coming up with a project. It's all self-motivated and self-driven, community-driven. Yeah, over to you, Vish.
Yeah. So I will share with all of you. I'm very keen. After this example, Milind comes in and shares his views. I'm sure he's an advanced teacher. To reinforce whatever we have been discussing, if he can use one or two additional creative ways, I would honor that as well. But before I hand over to Milind to make his points, I want to share an interesting project that one of my daughters was asked to do from Dear University. There is a dish called gumbo, Gumbo. Okay, this is a dish in the US, but it was invented by during the European revolution, right? Now, this particular dish came as a part of teaching European literature, and culture was one of the topics of European literature. And within culture, food was the sub-element in the culture. So the teacher gave these guys an assignment. Hey guys, can you go and pick up a unique dish that was created during the French Revolution? And you need to create the entire video of that and send it to me. You take next 10 days, you can work in groups. Done. The assignment definition was in just one line. Children had to completely read about the European history, the interconnectedness, how did the World War One happen, two happen, how did this particular dish came into the culture formation, host of things they had to read. Then coming to the dish itself, they had to find the ingredient, recipe. Believe me, some of the ingredients were not even available in India, but they had to get it. They had to prepare. They made a 7-minute video of that particular dish, and if I get across, I'll share it with all of you. And then they presented. The teacher had to evaluate in the score of 20 and assess the group of students. That's a supremely great example of what students can involuntarily learn if they are given a very creative project. So how do you identify that project is the ability of the teacher. And one simple dish made them read the entire bunch of things before they actually came up with this particular project and execute it. So I thought I'll share that with you if that helpful, and I'll get across to that video and share it with all of you. It's extremely interesting project.
Sir, this is Dirvankar. I'm actually a student, so I had a very similar experience. So for my chemistry class, so there's this topic called acid, bases, and salts. which has a lot of reactions that happen in your daily life that you can demonstrate. So a teacher asked us to demonstrate any one experiment that we can do at home. So for us, we had to show it live instead of actually making a video. So we actually had, like, many of us read the entire chapter even before we had, like, even if we were doing a small process, we read the entire chapter just to make sure that anyone else would not have any doubt in asking if we get any question wrong or something like that. So it's pretty amazing how this whole thing works.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just to add to what you shared, what's your name?
Dirvankar.
Dirvankar, what Dirvankar said, just to add to what he said, look, when such a teacher teaches the next day, you can imagine the attention level of students, because they would have done that such kind of fantastic projects. Okay, with that, let me take a small pause before I play my last slide. Milind, do you want to say a few things or anything you want to share?
I don't know. I mean, actually, if I can take you through one small topic for 5 minutes, let us
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, say for example, today I'm teaching the kids divisibility rule, divisibility by 3. All right. So, anything that you have in mind as teachers, how could you go into that topic and how could you teach the kids without actually telling them that you are doing the divisibility rule? Anybody who can just go? It's a very simple thing, right? I mean, divisibility rule by 3. So what comes to your mind? How would one take divisibility rules for kids?
It could be dividing, let's say, fruits among 3 people, some certain number of fruits. Yeah, Kausar madam, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Dividing birthday cake.
Birthday cakes, okay. Anybody else? I want to share a very nice method which I did with kids. What I did was I asked them to place 3 buckets in front of them, right? And you have this game, right? Throwing the balls in the bucket. You all would have played that.
Yeah.
So what I said to them was 3 buckets are placed. So the one on the left is the hundreds place, the one in the middle is the tenth place, and the one at the right is the units place. There is some echoing going on, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I told kids is I am going to give you a number, and then you are going to throw the balls accordingly in those buckets. So say for example, I said 123, right? So what the kids need to do is throw 1 ball in the hundreds bucket, 2 balls in the tens bucket, and 3 balls in the units bucket. Okay. And then like what Vish said, that involve their brothers, sisters, or their aunties, uncles, and all that. So everybody can play this, and they can also fight over it, that array, you didn't put it properly, now it's my turn, so I will put it. So it can go on like that. And then at the end of it, I mean, they just had to write the number, and against that they had to write how many number of balls they used for that. All right. And so we did this for a number of different numbers, 3-digit numbers. And then we told them, now divide each number by 3 and see, right? So they divided the number and saw that for some of the numbers, there was no remainder left. And for some of the numbers, there were some remainders left. And then I asked them to correlate with the number of balls and for which the remainders were left and for which no remainders were left. So I didn't even have to teach them the rule for that. So they said that whatever is, I mean, when you add those 3 digits, whatever gets divided by 3, that automatically the number also gets divided by 3. So you can actually make a table on the right hand side that you can give numbers in such a way that first you can give 1, 1, 1, then 1, 2, 3. So on the right hand side, they can actually see the table 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, all that. They can see it in a line. So they say, Array, this is the table of 3. And then they see on the left hand side, all the numbers which are in the table of 3, they are getting multiplied by, divided by 3. So things like that, where the teacher doesn't tell them the rule. The students themselves find the rules, find the formulae and all that. I mean, that's how we try to do it most of the times, with games, with stories, with riddles, with puzzles and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Nice concept.
Okay, so Kiran, thank you, Milin, for that example. That's how innovative one can get, and innovation happens not as a breakthrough innovation. Incremental innovation can happen every single day, and for that, as teachers, we need to network. We need to share. Each one of us have our own strength, our own weakness. It's a question of constantly talking to each other and supplementing our knowledge base to make it even more beautiful.
Right.
One last thing.
Wish you have to share again.
Oh, okay. So what happened?
Yeah, we're able to see.
Okay. So I just have one last slide. In fact, can you see my slides?
Yeah. I can see Narasimha.
Okay, in fact, Milind was spot on. What he essentially narrated was how creative one could make a topic to teach, or how innovative one could bring in. I just want to have an example of how did Lord Vishnu took avatar to decimate Hiranyakaship. And all of you know this story. I need not tell the story. Look at the constraint that he had, right? He had a boon where he could not have been killed in the day or in the night, or outside the house or inside the house, or either by a human being or by an animal. So he went about innovating to take an avatar to decimate. So it may be a different example, and here is another example from our own Mahabharata, where challenge was to kill Bhishmacharya, and Arjuna failed to do that. And look at the right side, you have this Shikandi coming in front there, and to circumvent. Now, why I'm giving this example is every single problem, I believe there is a solution. It is just that we need to reach out to the right people, right experts, right platform, so that our passion gets converted into a solution that can be sort of shared with students. With that note, I'm done with my presentation. Once again, Kiran, and thanks everyone for joining this. And I thoroughly enjoyed interacting with all of you.
Yeah, thanks, Vish. Yeah, I think please stay back for some question and answer.
Yeah.
So, and another good part is for any of this example, you need not have to go back anywhere. In fact, it is already available in our tomorrow's session. 11 o'clock tomorrow, we are going to have youngsters like how Netra and Durvankur have joined. Thanks for both of you. So, 100 more kids will be joining tomorrow, and quite a few from Vijaya High School. Some of the teachers from Vijaya High School are also here. And I don't know, Kausar madam, if your students are also going to join. I know one of your nephew was planning to join. So in that, my point is, the students are already being innovative, and we are seeing quite a few of the innovative creations which these kids are doing. Okay, that we can witness live in tomorrow's session. Please join us. Just to let you know, yeah, some of these high school students, including Netra, who is there, she has created an app using all available in resources like code.org, and look at the problem which she is trying to solve through the app. Then by looking at, and also another student from Vijaya High School, Vikram, he created an app, because I was narrating the story of, like how Vish told all of us are gifted because we are born with, we still possess all working organs and limbs and eyes and ears. I was telling about how visually impaired children can learn. Then one of the student went on to create, he's still in 9th standard, he went on to create an app using again code.org, which is people visually impaired friendly, where it speaks out. Look at, I didn't ask him to create. He got the tip from my other example where we Infosys is working on one of the NGOs to solve this problem. He went on to try what he can do at his level with resources available to him, and he nearly solved it. I was really inspired by him. Now I can take this forward. Okay, it is not just a working prototype which is there only for that class example. So then we are also working with another group called Project Cuckoo, where it is going to instead of using audio files, sorry, video files, we are going to arrange audio files in on the actually Scratch app, which all of the students are learning in tomorrow's session. Again, a group of students as early as young as third standard up to engineering are there in the group, without having to worry about their differences, whether they are young or uh, maybe young at heart or they have more experience. Without any such inhibitions, they are joining with the sole purpose of learning. Yeah, one is learning about coding, about Scratch, or learning Python, because it has both elements, and much bigger than that, it is solving a social problem, and that's what is inspiring them. In fact, I went easy. I did not touch upon the topic over last 3-4 weeks. Then the kids started following up. Sir, what happened to the Project Cuckoo? We went and told our friends in the schools. Now our teacher is asking when you are going to finish that. So look at that, a wonderful social structure has been built where I get reminded even if I take it easy. So these are the tips and tricks which you can also follow with your students in your classroom. It does not matter whether you are teaching for primary school, middle school, or high school. It is possible to create basically impactful projects, and it is possible to take them along and inspire them. And in fact, we get inspired by them. So that it's really very fulfilling and very heartwarming to see the kids learning and trying to create from their own world. Now let's keep it open. You can ask any question or you can comment on it, and feel free. Anybody?
We had nice sessions, sir. I learned good techniques of teaching and learning from Vishwanath sir. Innovative ideas, how to engage, how to create curiosity, how to apply and make students social, and all. And also, I like to thank Milan sir also for nice example for dividing concepts and techniques.
Yeah, Milind is anyway. He continues to support us, and he will also share a lot of experiments which he has done and a lot of things which he has created. In fact, Milind, if you remember, you were looking for an online video editing software, video capturing and recording software, and look at what magic happened. I shared this in our again tomorrow 11 o'clock session, and one high school student, he went and explored this OBS studio, and last class he came and did a full-fledged demo as if we do in Infosys. He took us through the entire cycle of how do you capture the video, how do you add subtitles, how do you edit it, how do you stream it. Now look at it. It is me and Milind who wanted the solution. Look at who gave us the solution. An 8th standard student. Okay, this is the power.
Yeah. Good. I mean, I need to learn about it. I need to know about it.
Yeah. I have recorded it, and yeah, we can replay it, and we can definitely look at. Now it saved so much of time for us.
Right.
Now we are going to leverage that.
Yeah.
And Chetana of 9th standard in Vijay High School, she also did, sir, that heart in last
Yes,
month,
madam.
I think.
Thanks for bringing it
Yeah,
up. Yeah.
yeah,
So Chetna, in fact,
yeah.
in one of the sessions, I just gave a demo. Yeah, one of the evening 7:30 session. In that, Chetna happened to be there. I was showing the features of Office 365, where now Office 365 you can show 3D models. In fact, I brought up human anatomy and how you can animate human heart, and I showed this is the power of this Microsoft what brought in, and with augmented reality what you can do, with 3D models what we can do. And look at what inspired her. Instead of going with Office 365, she went with whatever tool we were using, Scratch, and she again on her own explored, can I bring in 3D model in Scratch? Then when she came and presented, we could not believe that she is using Scratch. It was looking so real. That means if I show you the video, you cannot differentiate whether she has used Adobe Captivate or Office 365 or Scratch. It is so realistic. Much more innovative was that she has added her own commentary and her sister's commentary into this, and she made it so interactive. In fact, when you do in even you if you use Office 365 of Microsoft, there is no interactivity is there. You can maximum, you can turn left or right. Now she can, since now she has figured out how do you basically import this frame by frame. Then I asked her to add interactive quizzes in between, which she did it in the next week. Okay, so that shows the power of these innovation and inquisitiveness and curiosity, and what they can create out of simple tips which we are able to give, and we need not have to underestimate. In fact, they have such a tremendous potential.
Now she has lot of time at home, sir. As school is not there. So she make her
True,
sisters
madam.
also as a part, sir.
Yeah. In fact, regarding time, even Mr. Narayan Murthy had only 24 hours in a day. So so all of us are gifted with 24 hours, and we can do wonders with that. And just to let you know how contagious is this enthusiasm, I took example of Vikram. I was surprised to see in the app which he's created, when it speaks out, alternatively, it was his voice coming and it was his mom's voice coming. That means his parents are getting involved in the children, what they are learning. Look at it, they are learning on Sundays, which is totally out of their syllabus, and it is being done by a stranger. And I did not invite him. He came in because somebody said probably it is useful. So through word of mouth, he has joined, and he has created this app, and look at who is getting involved and who is getting benefited. And we are very excited to see that these sessions, informal sessions, are in fact becoming global. We have students joining from Germany. We have students joining, I think Kausar's nephew joins from Riyadh. So yeah, now thanks to this technology and online platform, it has made it accessible so well. It is just a click of a button, and you can, it's learning is the key. The only resistance is your interest to learn. All other things are there in place. There are good Samaritans in this world and also good corporations who are giving their platforms free, and also the softwares. So it's only your imagination and your interest is the limit.
Great. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kiran. And I have another call. If you permit me, I want to jump off.
Yeah, thanks, Vish. I'm sure now we would like to hear more of you. So
Yeah.
I will call you tomorrow morning.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So yeah, I will stay back for any question answer, and I can also answer regarding tomorrow's session. Tomorrow we are having very interesting session where I'm expecting about 100 kids to join. As young as third standard onwards, they will join. And already I have requests lying in my WhatsApp group telling who want to present what. Okay. So one of the 7th standard kid wants to present an Internet of Things demo, which he has done it. So similarly, one of the high school student has created full-fledged portal where he is saving the database, saving the data which we enter onto the database, which he has created on 9th standard. Then Netra is going to share what magic she is doing with Raspberry Pi with Linux. So yeah, even though it might sound technical, but please join us to see the enthusiasm and how also they are learning their articulation skills. Means whatever they are doing, they have to tell something in a language which all of us can understand. It's not about the code. It's not about the syntax. It's about how do you? It's about storytelling, which they are able to do it. Sainam, thanks for joining. You joined late. I have recorded the session. It was very inspiring. So today, one of our ex-colleagues, Vishwanath Belliappa, had joined. Okay, if there are no more questions, we can end the session here. Thanks a lot and have a nice evening.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Good night,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Mona.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hina.
Thank you, Kiran. Have a nice evening. And really, this was really interesting. I enjoyed it, and rather, I'm more excited to know what those 100 students are going to bring about. You've been talking so high of them, and I'm sure the way they have been dedicating this time, it's really commendable because over the world, when the world is really going through so much and they're really panicking of what the future will be about, these children are really going down and solving certain ground root problems, and like really they're working so well, and self learning, the biggest thing is they're doing it by self learning, and then they're bringing up and they're taking your sessions, your requests, your talks, your initiatives so sincerely that they're bringing in solutions. That's really commendable. I'm sure you're influencing them to such great extents. That shows how much influential power you have as the leader, Kiran. That simply shows that. And that's the bigger challenge is how can you bring children from third standard till engineering on the similar platform? Like they're coming from different mental age group, but then you're doing it. That's another big challenge to give a similar platform to each and everyone to evolve. So tomorrow at 11, right?
Yeah, it is the same bridge, so we will have it. Yeah, the
Great.
and also it's you look at the formula. It's so easy. Each one of us can replicate so easily. And if you start today, I did not do the talking. It is Wish who did the talking. I just facilitated, right? So
Right.
I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow. The kids will do the talking. So all we are doing is we are just acting as a gel in between, just to give them pointers and let them go and discover. And in fact, there's
I'm
another
really
field.
excited to know about that project Cuckoo. The name
Huh.
itself is really cute. Cuckoo. So let's see what they come up with.
I will tell briefly for 2 minutes now, so that you know what to expect. And before
Surely.
that, I want to tell you another big field which we missed. They are composing music. Okay.
Wow. In
And I
what
will share
respect?
some of the audio clip which what they have composed, and you cannot differentiate what instrument they are playing them on. In fact, they are playing on as simple devices, Raspberry Pi, which is just 3,000 rupees device, or your laptop, or in your desktop. Does not matter. Any computing device which you have, they can compose. The software is open source. It's called Sonic Pi, and kids have been doing it, and it's amazing.
Oh, please let's have some a little bit of audio. You have it, right?
I will share WhatsApp. I'll WhatsApp you so that you can hear
Surely.
natively with the full glory. Oh,
Surely, Kiran. That's really thoughtful of you.
yeah, yeah. And another regarding Project Cuckoo, let me briefly tell you 2 minutes version. And then tomorrow we'll hear a half an hour version. So this, like all of us can see and join the bridge, and we can see because we have fully functional eyes. What about children who are partially blind or fully blind? So for them, audio is an excellent source, and thankfully we are in touch with quite good passionate volunteers. For example, one of the scientists in CFTRI, Central Food and Technological Institution in Mysore, CFTRI, he has been creating audio podcasts over last 3 years. There are about 400 audio files which I have in the WhatsApp chat, which I have downloaded. Now these 400 audio files are targeted for as young as primary, middle, and high school. In fact, even when he heard one of his podcasts about our Chandrayaan mission. When it failed, I was there in one of the government school on that day, and when the mood of the teachers was so much as if somebody died in their family, okay, because our mission had failed. Okay, but after the session, I heard this podcast. I was really impressed, and none of these Times of India or anybody covered that feature, even though we could not land successfully. But what did we succeed? That he had articulated in very, very simple Kannada, which is the local language. Even though there were a lot of jargons involved, a lot of scientific terms involved, I was able to understand within 5 minutes. Such a powerful message. I wished these teachers had listened to this. Like, what did we achieve? It is not a failure. Actually, we succeeded in that mission to that much
Even in the
extent.
failure, we succeeded to learn so
Ha,
much.
yeah. Whether it is glass is half full or half empty,
Empty.
he talked about that half full or three-fourth full, and what did we achieve in that? Such a powerful message. Then I was listening to one of the poem. Even today, I listened to one of the poem which I was actually we had that in our primary school. Look at this. I had learned about 40 years back. Even today, when one of the leading singers sings the same poem, it's I will just tell you in English. It's even though it's in Kannada, it's about a bird singing. That's where the bird cuckoo. It caught my attention. I named it as Project Cuckoo. Yeah, then the cuckoo sings. It does not sing because somebody is going to give appraisal. Somebody is going to give any. It sings because it likes to sing, and it will sing until it dies. Right? It's about very beautifully. It has been narrated. I will send that lyrics in English so that you. And it was so heartwarming, even to listen after 40 years. Then it occurred to me, if I can cherish this poem, which was written 40 years back, which is directly related to what we see in the world, and there are several such wonderful poems which has been written. So why not now look at it? These kids are composing music. I can just give it to them to compose music for these poems as well, right? It is just another technique. Now look at it. If you compose music for one of the poem written by one of the popular poets, you will feel so proud of it. Now, if it makes sense, if you are able to understand the lyrics and able to remember or put to use, nothing like it. This is exactly what we are going
Definitely.
to do as part of Project Cuckoo. In fact, composing music might take time, but this 400 audio files, which I already have it's all based on science. Okay, this we are going to organize in a way. We are going to bring in nice taxonomy so that the kids now look at it. They cannot choose by seeing it. They can choose only by listening to it or by
Listening to
touching
it.
the option. So we are going to create that interface using either Scratch or some other software or Python, where we can speak to it and then they can get what they want. And these kids are doing it so well. The high school kids are doing. One of the kid has already written, who happens to be son of one of our colleagues, Subhash's son. He has created in Python
Okay.
a speech to text algorithm. That means you can speak to it and it will give you what you want. It is like a Zoe which we have on Lex, and he has written
Wow.
on his own, created on his own. Now look at the power, right? Now look at what satisfaction he will have. For him, it is just text to speech. But when I give him this use case, it's just an extra, probably couple of days effort, which he need not have to do alone. He has a group of like-minded students to work with him. So this is the
Nice.
power. Then another thing which we have figured out using Scratch, it looks like a child's game, but I showed them how to bring up this audio file so easily. Okay, this is about Project Cuckoo. Yeah, more we will see the demo tomorrow.
Surely. Well, Kiran, I tell you, it seems like it's a batch of Schrodinger, Einstein, Madame Curie, everybody put together. They appeared together in those years, and now you're bringing such talent together again under the
Yeah,
Project
yeah.
Coco.
Look at
I'm
it. I
really
did not
excited.
run any national talent test or examination to shortlist them. They just came through word of mouth. And look at it, they are all randomly picked. And each one of them are showing their creativity. Tomorrow, I'm going to share some of the creativity shown by some of the government school kids.
Uh
What
huh.
did Ganesh who had joined in today from Pune. He's in a Marathi medium school. He's from a very less privileged family, and with that limited resource, he is doing amazing thing. So
Wow.
similarly, here we have another gentleman who will join tomorrow, Chirantan. He did.
Okay.
When I showed him one simple experiment called dissolving spoon. Okay, there is a metal
Okay.
called gallium, which you put it in hot water. It looks like a steel spoon, but it melts in room temperature.
Okay.
Okay, I showed him. Then look at it. I don't know what triggered him. He went on to search what are another metal which will react to the heat. Then he found out that mercury reacts to the heat; it expands. Then he created a full circuit which expands and creates means it completes the circuit, and he created these things in an animated this one project on Scratch. And when he did that, he did not had a laptop with him. He just had a smartphone. He implement everything in a smartphone, and he did not know how to draw my attention when he wanted to share. He was just sitting like this by raising his hand. Then I asked him, why are you
Okay.
raising your hand? Okay. Then he said, can I show what I have done? Okay. Now you should see what he has done. Anyway, more I will share more on what he has done after that and what help we are trying to give to him. Okay. So like this, the kids, it does not matter whether they are in government school or private school, or they are from rich family
Definitely.
or not so rich family, or they have resourceful. They are very, very creative. And if you encourage them, definitely they can solve this world's problems.
Definitely, they can solve this world's problem, no doubt about it, Kiran. All they need is just a fair opportunity to present the mind, nothing
Yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah.
So let's see and join them together at 11 tomorrow. Then I'll see you
Yeah,
at
yeah.
11
11.
then.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so very
Okay.
much for
Thank you.
making me join here, Kiran. It was very interesting. Thank you for
Thank you.
calling.
Yeah. Thank you. And have a nice evening.
You too. Have a nice evening, everybody else. Milan sir, Kausar ma'am, and then I see Nivas sir, Shesha, and Suman.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Jina. Same to you.
Thank you. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye. Sainam, thanks for joining. I'll share the recording. I know you joined late.
Yeah, I know. I missed it. Kiran.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear Vishwanathan, but I missed it.
Sure, man. Chalo, see you tomorrow. Yep. Bye bye. Good night.
Sayanam, इधर Infosys था मला Sayanam है ना?
Hi, Milind.
He's our senior. Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Milind. How are you?
Yeah, hi. How are you? Long time.
Even I have been thinking of catching up with you. I know you have been participating in the forums.
Yeah.
So we'll catch up. I think I have your. I can ask Kiran to share your number.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He's in the same WhatsApp group, man. In the
Yeah,
same name.
I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I hear that you are doing a lot of good work in Pune, so let's catch up.
Kiran keeps on telling a lot of things about. He hikes it up and talks about.
So Milind, try this OBS Studio, which Vikram has done it.
Yeah, definitely.
And tell me if you have any, if you need any help, I will also pitch in and I will also get him to help.
ಅದೇನು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀಯ ನನಗೆ?
ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Chalo, good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Yeah, bye.